Chapter 17. The evening began like clockwork. The sun slipped down, and as if connected to it by invisible pulleys, the crescent moon swung into position. It was a kind of dusk where even a passing moth sounds mechanical, with a soft whirring of wind-up wings. The stars turned on, the city lights turned out, and at the top of the second tallest tower, the stage was set. A long table had been erected, and it was piled high with tempting delicacies: candied orange peel, airy pastries filled with lemon curd, and pistachio truffles. The boy had lit the candles again, and the room was ablaze with light. Servants, balancing a dish in either hand, careered past each other, with all the pace and poise of prima ballerinas. There were too many of them for the space, but somehow they managed their movements without touching each other. Conducting the performance, standing on a chair so his gestures could be seen, was a boy. Imogen entered the room and looked about in amazement. Mary stared too, her eyes like saucers. The boy clapped his hands, and the dance came to an abrupt end. "Please," he said, hopping down from his chair, "have a seat." Chairs were pulled back, napkins were placed on laps. The only diners seemed to be Imogen, Mary, and the boy. He'd changed his outfit for the occasion, and was now sporting a blue tunic covered in gold stars. His foot had pointy toes and flared out at the top, where they almost touched his knee. "Sparkling wine, madam?" asked a servant with a curled mustache. No, thank you," said Imogen, wrinkling her nose. "Perhaps some Parlivar." The servant brandished a bottle of pink liquid. Imogen shook her head. "Red Remposhka." "I'm 11," said Imogen. "I normally drink lemonade." The servant straightened up. Lemon-ade. I'm afraid we don't have that vintage." There was a lot of cutlery: 5 knives, 6 forks, and 3 spoons. Imogen caught sight of her warped face in a dessert spoon. What on earth, she wondered, was she supposed to do with all this? A chain of servants passed dishes up and down the spiral staircase, taking away the empty plates and bringing up more food. During one course, a violinist played and Mary clapped along, even though it wasn't the right kind of music for it. At the end of the third course, Imogen turned to the boy. "Isn't that strange?" she said. "We're all here, eating together, but we haven't even been properly introduced." "What do you want to know?" "Your name would be a good start." The boy cleared his throat. "I am Prince Miroslav Yaromir Drahomir Krishnov, Lord of the city of Yaroslav, Overseer of the mountain realms and guardian of the Kosany forests." "What do people call you?" said Imogen. "Your Highness." "No, I mean, what do your friends call you?" The boy looked uncomfortable. "Your Royal Highness?" "I don't believe you," said Imogen. "You can call me Prince Miroslav, son of Vadik the Valiant, or Miro. That's the name my mom used." "Miro," said Mary. "That's a nice name." They tucked into the fourth course: honey roast pig and steaming buttered veg. Imogen attacked it with a soup spoon. Mary tried the fish knife. "Don't you want to know our names?" asked Imogen. Then, not bothering to wait for an answer, she said, I am Imogen Clark, and she's Mary Clark. We're sisters. Sisters. I see. Suddenly, the conversation was interrupted by a terrible scream. The girls dashed to the nearest window. "It's the monsters again," said Mary. "It sounded like it came from over there." She pointed to the city outskirts. Mary helped himself to mint tea and waited for his guests to return to their seats. Imogen peered at him. "You don't seem very concerned." He shrugged. "It's normal." "What are they?" asked Mary. "The Skrit," said the boy. "Scratch?" "Well, you certainly can't be from the forest if you've never heard of Skrit." "We are really not from the forest," said Mary. "Please, tell us about the monsters." "The Skrits are nocturnal mountain creatures," said Mara. "They're not much bigger than you or me, but they have bald heads like old men, and they can see in the dark. Their teeth are sharp and their hands are clawed. Sometimes they walk like human, and sometimes they crawl like spiders. They come down from the mountains at dusk, running through the city and killing anything they find. If you don't have Skret where you are from, you are lucky." He took a sip of his tea. He was clearly enjoying having an audience. "Was it Skrit that were chasing us last night?" said Imogen. Mara nodded. "And they would have eaten us if they'd caught us?" "No, no," said the boy. "That's a relief," said Imogen, remembering how afraid she'd been. "They'd kill you all right, making a nice mess of your body." "Oh. But I was joking when I said they ate people." "Hilarious," thought Imogen. "Can't you stop them from getting into the city?" asked Mary. "My uncle tries. He's a king, you see. He has guards shut the city gates at nightfall, and he told everyone to put Skrit bones out, to show the monsters what happens if they keep coming here. But none of it seems to work. That's why we rang the bells, to warn everyone that the Skrits are on their way. Of course, none of this happened when my parents were about. The Skrits weren't a problem back then." Imogen didn't speak. She was thinking about the little skulls with the triangular teeth that decorated the houses. "But we're safe up here," said the prince, signaling the servants to clear away the plates. "Shouldn't we have the lights out, like other people do?" said Mary, looking around at the candles. "Oh, no. The Skrits can't get into the castle, let alone all the way up my tower. They aren't smart or big enough. Their brains are only a third size of a human brain." "Sometimes," said Mary, "even little things can be quite fierce." "Besides," said the boy, "I've got weapons. I'd have no problem fighting off a few monsters." Imogen blinked at him. She thought that highly unlikely. "Where were your parents?" she asked. "You said things were different when they were about." "Oh, yes, they're with the stars now. I don't think we need to." Mara ran his fingers through his thick curly hair. There was a pause. "Would you like some tea?" He filled up their cups. "I tried to organize a dancing bear for tonight, one of the small ones, but apparently they can't catch them anymore. There was a dancing bear shortage." He snorted with laughter. Imogen didn't get the joke. "So how did you come to be running from Skrit through my city?" he asked. "If you're not peasants, And you're not from the forest. Where are you from?" "Ah," said Imogen. "Well, that's kind of complicated.